You're on the couch, safe, but your chest tightens, your heart races. Nothing happened, yet your body screams as if you're about to face a lion. This isn't drama, it's your brain stuck in survival mode. It learned, maybe in childhood, that the world isn't safe. Now, even in calm moments, it sounds the alarm. Understanding this isn't weakness. It's the first step to reprogramming your mind and teaching your body that it is finally at peace. The war is over. But your body is still on the battlefield. Shallow breathing, tense shoulders, thoughts on high alert. These are remnants of old traumas still living inside you. Your brain hasn't realized that you're now safe. And as long as it believes danger persists, you'll keep fighting invisible enemies. Healing begins when you pause, breathe, and show your body it can finally rest. A strange look, a mild critique, a silly argument, and suddenly you're in panic, wanting to flee or attack. Why? Because your adult mind got triggered. But it's your wounded past self that's reacting. Old traumas shaped the way you live and respond. They didn't disappear, they were just buried. But they're still in control. Until you face them with compassion and set them free. Extreme fatigue, insomnia, unexplained physical sensations. And still you blame yourself for not being able to handle it. But the truth is, your brain is in emergency mode. It sees every challenge as a threat to your survival. And that drains an absurd amount of energy. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're just living with an overwhelmed nervous system. And what it needs most right now is rest and care. Even on vacation, even in silence, your mind is racing. Thinking about what went wrong, what could go wrong, what you should be doing. That's because survival mode has been active for so long, it became your default. True relaxation isn't the absence of tasks, it's the absence of fear. And to feel that, you first need to feel safe within yourself. Your body needs to relearn that it's okay just to be. You plan everything, control every detail, anticipate problems that don't even exist. On the surface, it looks like responsibility, but deep down, it's fear. Your brain learned that if it doesn't control everything, something bad might happen. That's the trap of survival mode. It gives you the illusion of safety while keeping you stuck in fear. Real freedom begins when you accept that you can to control everything and that it's okay. Pain that doesn't go away, sleep that doesn't restore, tension that refuses to leave. Your body isn't just tired, it's exhausted from being on high alert. Every small stressor activates a full defense system that's never had a break. This isn't weakness. It's the reflection of an overwhelmed system. The rest you need isn't just physical, it's emotional. Your body is crying out for peace. And you deserve to give it that. Maybe no one yelled. Maybe there was no violence. But if you had to be perfect, hide your feelings, or please others to be accepted, your brain learned that the world is dangerous. Childhood shapes our survival instincts. And as kids, everything we feel is real, even if adults say otherwise. Today, what seems like overreaction might just be the echo of a childhood where you couldn't just be. You're not weak for feeling anxious. In fact, you're incredibly strong for surviving so much. Anxiety is simply the price your brain pays for never turning the alarm off. It tried to protect you. Even when the danger was long gone, understanding this changes everything. You don't need to heal by fighting yourself. You just need to learn to care for the system that only ever wanted to keep you alive. Now, it's time to live in peace. Even when everything is going well, part of you expects something bad to happen, as if happiness is dangerous, as if relaxing is wrong. That's because your mind was trained to prepare for pain. The brain prefers anticipating suffering over being surprised by it, but living like this steals your joy. You no longer need to expect the worst. You can start little by little, trusting that the best is possible, and you will live the best this life has to offer. You try to relax but feel restless, guilty for pausing, afraid of missing something, feeling like you're being useless. Rest should be natural, but your brain links rest to vulnerability. At some point, it learned that letting your guard down was risky. So even when you're exhausted, you stay on alert. But rest is not failure, it's repair. And you don't need to earn your worth through exhaustion. You already deserve peace, even when still. You love, but you pull away. You crave closeness, but you protect yourself. Survival mode distorts your perception of risk. Even love can feel threatening. A change in tone becomes rejection. Absence becomes abandonment. You're not cold, you're just in defense mode. But living always in armor keeps love from reaching you. Healing begins when you understand that vulnerability is not weakness, it's the path back to connection. When life finally calms down, something inside you starts looking for problems. You sabotage yourself, create chaos, start fights. It's not madness, it's protection. Your brain learned that chaos is predictable, but peace is dangerous. Because if it ends, it hurts, so it's better not to feel it at all. That living in fear of peace is living in fear of healing. And you deserve more than survival. You deserve to feel safe in the calm. You sleep, but wake up tired. You laugh, but feel empty. You're surrounded by people, but feel alone. This exhaustion doesn't come just from tasks. It comes from the daily effort to appear okay when everything inside is screaming. Survival mode demands you function even when you're falling apart. That wears you down, but exhaustion isn't weakness. It's your body asking for a break, and you have permission to stop, to breathe, to feel, and to start again, gently. You analyze everything, rehash conversations. Imagine scenarios that will never happen. Overthinking seems like a way to understand, but it's actually a way to control. Your brain keeps thinking because it's afraid to feel, but that only traps you further. Overthinking isn't clarity, it's noise. The way out isn't to figure everything out, but to learn how to feel, to trust, and to let the present be enough. Anxiety doesn't come out of nowhere. Even when it feels senseless, it carries a message. It's your body trying to tell you something is out of place, maybe a suffocating decision, a broken boundary, or an old wound bleeding again. You can ignore it, medicate it, mask it. But if you don't listen, it will scream. Anxiety is the language of denied emotions. And when you listen with kindness, it begins to whisper. You wake up, work, take care of everything, and repeat. No pause, no presence, no feeling. Routine numbs you, but your body is on alert. Because living on autopilot is surviving, not living. And your brain, without real moments of rest, still acts like it's on the battlefield. The way out, presence. A mindful sip of coffee, a conscious sigh. Small rituals that tell your brain, now we're safe. Maybe you grew up being told you couldn't make mistakes, that you had to be strong, that crying was weakness. So your brain learned to protect itself, represses emotions, seeks approval. Lives on high alert, but what once helped you survive may now be keeping you from truly living. The good news? You can reprogram. You can teach your brain that it's now safe to feel, to fail, to rest. It's safe to be you. Tension in your shoulders, unexplained pain, insomnia. Your body has been talking to you. Survival mode doesn't only affect the mind, it drains the body. Because living on alert takes constant energy, even silence becomes a threat. But your body wasn't made to live in war. It needs peace. It needs care. It needs you to listen, to hold it gently, to honor its limits. Your body deserves rest, and so do you. True emotional healing doesn't begin in the mind. It begins in the body. When it feels it's no longer in danger, the brain lowers its weapons. Anxiety fades, breathing slows. Everything in you begins to relax. That's why emotional safety isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. It's the fertile ground where freedom grows. Your brain wants to protect you, but it needs to learn. Now you're safe. And you are free to live. And now that you understand why your brain lives in survival mode, what should you do about it? I'm going to leave some exercises for you to try. They can help a lot. Let me know in the comments if you'll try any of them. Breathe. The first way out is always air. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 7 seconds. And exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this cycle 4 times. It sounds simple, and it is, but this practice calms the nervous system and helps your mind return to the present. Another powerful healing tool is meditation. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just close your eyes for 5 minutes. Feel your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. Allow yourself to be here now. This teaches your brain that it is safe, that the war is over. If you prefer, say this prayer with an open heart. God, calm what I can't control. Silence the screams my mind doesn't understand. Wrap me in your peace. I surrender what weighs me down. I receive my healing. Amen. And if you're carrying something heavy, write it in the comments. No one here will judge you. This is a space of compassion. Write what hurts, what tightens your chest, what you can't tell anyone else. Just the act of letting it out already begins the healing. If this video touched you, brought you clarity, relief, or simply company, subscribe now to the Silent Wounds channel. This is your quiet refuge. And there's one more step. In the card above and in the description, there's a video called Anxiety Without a Reason. Maybe your body is screaming what your mind can't say. It complements everything we talked about today and might completely change how you understand your anxiety. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next ones. I'll be here tomorrow at 5 a.m. as always. And never forget, every wound tells a story, and every story can become light.